Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, on this August the 24th. It's a Tuesday, AM on EOAlive, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Boom. How are you, man?
I'm back.
All right. Good. Good to see you.
My palms are sweaty like it's the first time I've ever been on camera.
I know it's been a little bit. I'm glad you're back.
Yep.
Yep. And we're in separate areas because of just the COVID stuff that's going around.
I mean, I'll come straight out and say it. I made that decision. I had it. So
you had COVID.
Yeah.
You had COVID.
Yep. It sucked.
Yeah.
It sucks being by yourself.
That's right. And you had the vaccination too.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I had the Johnson & Johnson about what? A month and a half ago? 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you were kind of one of those breakthrough cases. But
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm on the mend and I'm feeling pretty good. So
good.
Better. Yep. Hey, BC, I was looking at this thing. Have I ever told you that I'm colorblind?
I think you did. You mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, the news came out of the purple.
Say it again.
I said the news came out of the purple. I got you that time. You didn't know the dad joke was coming.
I don't think
it didn't come out of the blue. It came out of the purple.
Oh, I see. Because that's the color you see. Blue comes out as purple.
Gotcha.
Good morning, Julie. Glad you're here with us this morning. Yep. So that's kind of a corny dad. So like the dad joke is like, what did the colorblind dad say? What are the
colorblind. But I really am colorblind.
I know, but you gotta, for me to get jokes like that, you have to like put the dots real close together.
I know, but if I put the dots too close together, then you always say, "Oh, I knew it was coming."
There's no joke. Yeah.
I figured out I have to set you up.
I see. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I was going to say, it's like, do you have any? It was funny because I was about ready to say, do you have a dad joke? And you just kind of quietly rolled right into it. It worked.
It did. It worked.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it coming.
No.
Yeah. Well, look at that. That's kind of pretty.
A little hazy, huh? Is that smoke still a little? Probably, huh?
Yeah. I don't think that I have allergies, but I think that the smoke bothers me more than what I think it does.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like develop that over time. Do you think maybe?
I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't remember having allergy or smoke issues or whatever, but I think it does affect you. Well, let's look at the weather here.
If I get it out.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Oh, it's only going to get up to 78 today. That's crazy. That's nice.
It is beautiful.
78 is like perfect for me.
I know. It's been gorgeous the last few days. Just, so light winds. So, and then tomorrow,
almost identical, a little bit warmer, but mostly clear, and 81's the high.
Yeah. It totally feels, I don't know. It's like overnight, somebody switched the light and fall came, started to come in, it just has that October feeling. I mean, it's just kind of weird, I mean, I love it. I love the fall. Fall's my favorite time of the year. Because I don't know, I like
football.
I like the cool nights. Yeah. Football. I saw where, LeGrand High School released a schedule the other day. They've got, yeah. So,
thank you, Cindy. Sorry I missed you this weekend. So the Doug Trice Memorial Tournament was this weekend, and I didn't get to go, but Dana and I are going to meet sometime this week and we raised quite a bit of money this year, more than last year, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of that. So
good. Yeah, good. Remind me, we have somebody did some work for us, and rather than let us pay them, they said, just give that to the Doug Trice Memorial. So
yeah, we can say his name on here. He won't mind. Lee Wright. He's like he's the sports and EOAlive, like, I mean, that guy is at every event. He's constantly chipping in on stuff, and so I'll give Lee some love. He's a good dude.
And Lee, and so Lee did some work for me, and so anyhow, so remind me though, because we need to write a check to the Doug Trice Memorial too. So
yep, absolutely. And then all the businesses that chipped in, man, it was on. We kind of rushed it because we had the Shrine game, and I was super busy, but everybody that contributed to that, and shout out to Dana too. Dana took on that whole event himself because I was in quarantine, so much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, so what do you think about this vaccine mandate stuff? Have you been following that?
Yeah, like the state of Oregon, like all the state employees and.
Well, yeah, and kind of what happened, I don't know if you followed what, I mean, the governor had been talking about that for a while and said, well, yeah, they're either going to have to get mandated or tested weekly. And they're either going to have to get vaccinated or tested weekly. And then last week, she took the testing option off the table.
So it's just all state employees?
Well, it's essentially any employee she has control of. I guess that's the big question, is whether she legally has control over those things. I mean, those things will have to be challenged, I'm sure, in court. And in fact, it's at one point, hopefully we're going to have somebody who's going to come on and talk to us about the legal ramifications. And if you do not want to be vaccinated, what are your options, and so on and so forth. But it's kind of a mess. And I know the thing, we did that show for the hospital. We hosted a town hall. It was their thing. They put it together at last Wednesday. And I mean, it was during that Jeremy really talked about the issue of staffing. The hospital capacity issues they're more staffing than they are having to do with their staffing shortages, more than space limitations or even equipment limitations. It's staffing. And even so much so that, and it's surprising, long-term, for instance, if you have a hip replacement or you have some kind of a complication and you're elderly, then you don't, a lot of times you recoup for a few days in the hospital and then you move to a long-term care facility where you rehabilitate and then you eventually go home. Well, those rehabilitation centers are also short on staffing. And so people that would naturally move out of the hospital into long-term care cannot. And so, I mean, there's a staffing issue all the way around. And anyhow, the point of all that is that I just can't imagine that this vaccination mandate isn't going to make that even worse. I don't know how that's going to be sustainable.
I mean, there's obviously going to be some issues with people that aren't going to do it. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
And so what are they going to do?
I know.
Less employees?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's, it doesn't matter. I mean, at the college level, I mean, you're going to have this issue everywhere. State workers. I mean, I saw a post yesterday about people that are getting ready to get out of the military because that is also, Biden is going to pass that. He's pushing that if you're in the active military, everybody has to be vaccinated. And
don't military people have to have a bunch of vaccinations anyways because they travel overseas?
Well, they do, but not everybody travels overseas. So,
Yeah, I've never been in the military, so I don't know. But don't you, when you join the military, don't you have to? I mean, basically, aren't you signing over your rights pretty much?
you pretty well give up rights to your physical being. I mean, that
Yeah,
kind of is the whole point. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I guess the only choice would be if you don't agree with the vaccination, you'd have to get a dishonorable discharge.
Yeah. No, I think that I saw a post yesterday of a guy who that's,
It's unfortunate, but I mean, it
and
is
I
what
just
it is.
can't, yeah. And I'm not I mean, both you and I have chosen to be vaccinated. I vaccinated recently. Um, but man, I, I am not, I am not a mandate person. And I think that it makes it worse. I mean, people that might have been on the fence, people that might have been like, okay, I think that I should do this, or I'm considering doing this, when they feel a thumb in the middle of their back, they back up. They're like, nope, not going to do it. So,
Yeah, I think that we live in an unfortunate world where people I don't want to call people stupid, but there are some people that just don't think, right? They don't process, they don't think about stuff, and that makes our government feel like they need to control that certain group of people, and it affects people that actually take the time to think about things and keep themselves safe and keep other people safe, and it
yeah.
sucks.
Hey, if you want to comment on this, we'd love to hear your comments and be a part of the conversation. I just don't know how it's sustainable. I mean, I guess there's two things. One of the thing I think is like, I mean, if there was ever a thing where my body, my choice, and that has just been such a thing that people who have been pro-choice have kind of put out there. If there was anything that ever fell in that category, it's being forced or not forced to have a vaccination. I mean, I just I can't get the rationale behind that. I mean, I guess that's what I mean, because people have the right to be stupid. They have the right to do what they want to do. And people will say, well, yeah, but this is a national, you're putting other people at risk. And I mean, I think you could easily say that, yeah, there are other choices that we make that put people, I mean, people choose to speed. They choose to speed all the time. They choose to drink and drive, I mean, uh, and those are stupid choices that people make. So anyhow, what a
Yeah.
mess it is right now. And
I,
here's the other thing. Do you think it may be like, maybe at some point there's going to be like communities? I mean, so you'll drive over to Portland and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, so that's the unvaccinated side of Portland. I mean, I don't know. This goes to, I mean, I just don't know how this is not going to lead to civil war at some point, where you're going to
I
have masses of people that will, barricade themselves into a commune. And I mean, this is not a good path. So,
I know the Las Vegas Raiders were the first pro sports team that said in order to come to a game, you either have to have a test within the last 24 hours or be vaccinated.
well, and I don't mind. I think that the testing option is viable. I mean,
I did too.
I think that is a reasonable way to do it. I mean, I've always said, don't tell me no, just tell me how. That's kind of been my thing. I mean, tell me the hoops I need to jump through. Don't set up impossible obstacles for me. And so I think the testing thing is I think that's reasonable. It might be inconvenient. And I also think wearing a mask is reasonable. I mean, these are things that you can do if you want to go to a sporting event, if you want to do that and you choose to be unvaccinated, but it requires that you wear a mask and then you show a negative test. I think that's might be inconvenient, but it's a reasonable cost. So,
Well, and then here's my thought too. Like if you're a private business owner, right? So say I own a private store and I decide that I don't want to follow the mask thing. Well, that's my store.
Right.
You can not come in if you don't want, if you're, you know what I mean? Not that I would be there. I'm just saying if it's a private store and the owner doesn't care about masks, well, then that should be posted. And then people that do care about masks or that are vaccinated, you know what I mean? Like they just don't go in there. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else, Amazon. And I mean that, and not saying that would be my choice, but just saying that if you own it and you're the owner, I mean, you get to make that decision in my eyes.
Right. And in the same hand, if people don't want to frequent your store because you're not wearing masks, then
they don't need to go.
Yeah. And that's part of the cost of doing business and holding your up to whatever your principles might be.
Right. And part of the misconception is people consider like Walmart a public place. It's not a public place. It's a private store.
Yeah.
It's not public. Like when I go out in public, well, when you go out in public, that's a public area. The park is public.
Yeah.
But stores are not public.
Right.
And so I don't get that. Like I never got that part, that argument part. Like
right. So you're saying that people say I shouldn't have to wear a mask in Walmart because it's public. And you're saying,
or no,
it's not
people
public.
saying, no, people that say that, people should be wearing masks in public.
Yeah.
Like people that are pro mask, right?
Right.
Which I choose to wear a mask.
Okay.
Say I've heard it numerous times saying, I go to Walmart and there's all these people that aren't wearing a mask in a public place. Well, guess what? That's not a public place. That's a private place, and that's up to Walmart to handle that.
Right. Yeah.
It's not up to, you know what I mean? Like it's not a public place. It's privately owned.
Right. And I think that the thing that's, I mean, there's two things I'm thinking. One is, there's a lot of businesses that are caught in a bind. I mean, the school district, the hospital, so these mandates are being passed down by the governor. And I mean, they're, people, you could argue and say, yes, these institutions can, they do have the ability to say, no, we're not going to follow those recommendations or those requirements, but it would cost them money. It would cost them, I mean, the fines could be astronomical. I think I had heard that it was like, for like the hospital, for instance, it's like $500 per day per incident, and so, it's just the potential is really big. And the same thing for the school district. So I feel for, and let's say like Walmart. So let's take Walmart International decides, hey, we all got to wear masks, and so then from Arkansas or wherever their orders come from. Did you know that the thermostat in our local Walmart is controlled by people in Arkansas? I mean, is that bizarre? That's a true statement.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. It's all controlled by some, and that happens in a lot of corporate buildings. But anyhow, if corporate is passing that on to our local people, the local people don't really have anything to say about it. They're just following the orders of their boss, So Caleb Sampson says he's alive.
I'm the mayor. How was the golf tournament? So here's my thought on all of it. And I have friends that are on both sides of me personally. I'm not going to go into my personal beliefs or any of that, but I have friends on both sides. I've seen quite a few things in the 42 years that I've been on this earth. I've seen quite a few things, but I've never seen anything that has divided my friends the way this has. And I'm already sick of it. Like right. I am. I want people to get along. Like that's it.
Right.
And that's the way it affects me the most. Honestly, like I see friends that are arguing and friends that are, like that. I mean, it breaks my heart, really. It does. And I just want people, we got to find a way to come together regardless of, political affiliation, or whether or not you believe in wearing a mask, or whether or not you believe in getting a shot. I just want to see people find a way to come back together and fight this together. And of course, the people that are, pro mask are going to say, well, the way we do that is we all get vaccinated and we all wear masks. And the people that are, anti-mask or anti-vaccine or pro-choice will say, well, the way we do that is we all just do what we want.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the middle ground is, and we got to find it. Like, we got to find it fast.
Well, and I guess I don't. I mean, I want to push back a little bit on this cancel culture thing, because here's what I see is happening. So cancel culture is when, if you don't agree with a business's political stance, whatever it might be, you decide, I'm not going to frequent that business. And that, that's been a tool that the left has used brutally at times. And, but what I'm seeing recently here is there's a segment of people that are like, they're on the opposite side. They are anti-mask. And so then they're building a list of businesses that are requiring masks. And I don't know. I thought it was crappy. I thought it was crappy for the left to do it. I think it's crappy for the right to do it, and or whatever side. I mean, I think just it's crappy. That is like, it's below us. I mean, it'd be one thing if you're like boycotting Walmart because of some, because a lot of their products come from China. Okay, well, all right. There's something that, we can probably, we could talk about, and I can understand you getting behind and whatever. But when you talk about a mom and pop store locally here, and they're just trying to survive, they're just trying to they're just trying to get along with folks, then why in the world would you torture them by not giving them your business? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just think that
I think it becomes like, people consider it a safety issue, which I don't disagree with. I mean, me personally, I'm not that super worried about it. I mean, I'll take the precautions. I got vaccinated. I don't mind wearing a mask, but at the same time, I mean, it's, people have their, they can do what they want. I mean,
I guess a safety issue in what way? You mean that they won't go into a store where people don't wear masks because they're concerned about their safety?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But what's been happening recently is there are local people that will not go into a business because the business is requiring masks.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? I stopped paying attention to it, and you guys are going to think this is funny, but I've been trying not to read social media, which that's like part of my job. So it's like, for those of you that don't know, I've been quarantined, right? And I just tried to stay off of social media as much as possible. Like, even though I was monitoring comments during that hospital thing, I just didn't engage. You know what I mean? Like, at the end, I just thanked everybody for being fairly civil. There was only a couple that were like, off the chain, and I'm just done with it. Like, I'm done with my friends arguing. I'm done with people that I care about arguing with each other. I'm over it.
Well, and I guess that's the point. The point is that it doesn't hurt. I mean, so if you are a person and you are really concerned about COVID, stay home or wear a mask when you go into a store and do what you can to do precautions. Nobody's going to bug you. I mean, I was at an event the other day, and Tanya and I were the only ones out of, I don't know, 50 or 75 people that were wearing a mask. I didn't care. Nobody looked at me like oh, you're so weird. What are you doing? And on the same hand, you turn that around the other direction. If a business is requiring you to wear a mask because maybe they're a franchise, and the franchise said, hey, all of our franchises are going to wear masks. Well, that local person, they don't have any control over whether they wear a mask or whether they require their employees to wear a mask or not. How much of a bother is it for you to put a mask on? I just don't get it.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
And I know there's people that say, "Oh, you can get sick from wearing a mask." I don't know how that's really possible when surgeons wear them for like 16 hours a day.
Well, they're inconvenient.
They are.
I mean, people, they have reasons to not like them, and
Absolutely.
I totally get it.
I mean, I have anxiety, and I don't like having that on my face, but it is what it is. It's just short amount of times. I just stay out of public. That's what I'm going to do. Just stay out of public as much as possible.
Yeah. And I think that, and you and I were talking about some people that are going to go to a concert and is like, yeah, man, I don't know that. I mean, I'm not a big fear person, but I'm not going to like run to large groups of people right now. I mean, I think there were 67 yesterday. It counted the weekend, but I think there were like 67 new cases. I mean, it is rampant right now in our community. Yeah. So
it almost makes me think like I want to know the exact numbers of like the people that are vaccinated that are getting it, but it almost makes me think like, and no, this is not a political statement, so don't even go there with it. It almost makes me think that maybe we should have just let it go, like the first time.
Well, I think
scientifically.
Well, and like just gone with the herd immunity, and there's probably a lot of conversation about that.
There probably is, like a lot. I mean, just like common sense wise, like and scientifically, when you think about it, like I mean, if it's mutating, and we're not getting, I mean, I'm a prime example of that. Then there's some, you know what I mean? Like we got to battle it somehow. I don't know. I guess a booster, I guess, is what they're talking about now.
Well, and I think that the reason 78 new cases yesterday. Thank you, Julie. I knew it was significant. I think the one thing that we do know, and the one people that are pro-vaccination is that the medical, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. You look at the stats across many hospitals, and that the people that are severely dealing with COVID in the hospital right now are people who are not vaccinated. I mean, overwhelmingly. There's a few breakthrough cases where people are in the hospital because they're forced into critical care, but there's a large percentage. I mean, I want to say 80 or 90% of the people that are in the hospital because they are sick enough they can't care for themselves at home, they are unvaccinated. So, I mean, there's a definite correlation between the severity of the Delta variant and being vaccinated. There's no doubt. You can't dispute that. You can't
deny science, I don't think. Well, our guest just got here, but let me end this conversation with this. To like my friends, my family, the people that I care about, the people that watch this show, I don't care which side you're on or what you choose. I love all of you guys, period.
Well, and I think that's the message, is to be courteous around each other. And Absolutely. Prime example, the other day I met with someone, they came in, I was only going to be with them for just a very short period of time. They had a mask on. The first question I ask is, are you comfortable with me not having a mask, or would you prefer that I get one? I mean, it's the first question I ask, because it wasn't difficult for me to do that. So
I keep one right here. Bam.
Yep.
On me.
Yep. It's just not hard to do. Well, hey, we'll take a little commercial break, and we'll be right back with Amanda May.
EOAlive is your connection to Eastern Oregon. Get the latest and most relevant news in 2 minutes or less with Megan Demersion on our evening news broadcast. We cover Eastern Oregon's weather daily with Gabe, the EOAlive weather kid, with an extended forecast every Friday. Watch Dodzy on EOAlive Sports to get the latest sports information and interviews with local coaches, athletes, and more. See Brent and Doddsy goof and gaff with local guests on EOLive's morning talk show, AM on EOLive. We're available across the board, including Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Fire, and of course, our very own website, EOLive.tv. We even have our own Roku channel and 24/7 live streaming via Stream. You can also listen to our shows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and many other popular podcast apps. You can get everything all in one place with the EOLive app, available on Android, iOS, and the Amazon App Store. EOLive, your connection to Eastern Oregon.
Hey, Eastern Oregon, welcome back. We're glad that you're here with us. And let me bring in Amanda May. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. You're like,
Excellent.
we're going to put you in the middle, so it's like the rose between the thorns or something
Amanda
like that.
Yeah.
sandwich with
Yeah,
We
that's
always
right.
put the guest in the middle of it. I can't not be on the right side of the screen. Like if we flip, I always switch it really fast. I don't know why.
That's like my dog. He has to walk on one side of the sidewalk.
Yeah. I think it's an OCD thing, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, hey, I'm glad you're here with us. And I have known Amanda. Her and Michaela, my oldest, are best friends. And so Amanda spent a lot of time at my house between her age of 13, 14, and 18. Is that a good assessment? I'm trying to think.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, I think I spent more time at your house in high school than I did at my own house.
Yeah. And so it's always a pleasure to be with you and around you, and so proud of who you are and what you do. And you are married to Dino, who is a force in and of himself.
That he is.
Yeah, and have two kids, and I'm always entertained by your Facebook posts and what's going on in your life. And so, yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you guys at Remax and in conjunction with Laughing Girl Flowers, did I say that correctly? Yeah.
You did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You kind of do a flower giveaway. Why don't you talk to us about what you do? And I think it's just, I mean, if there was ever a time that we needed goodwill and something fun and positive to think about, here, this is it, So talk to us about what you guys do.
Well, in keeping with what you guys were already talking about today, it's just the world needs more goodness.
Right.
It needs a lot more to look forward to and a lot less to complain about. And at Remax, we've really been feeling that right alongside the community. And it's so important to us to be as much of a bright spot for people as we can be. The world is hard, and working in the world is hard. And I mean, we care about, buying and selling real estate, sure, but we're also community members, lifetime community members. I've been here forever. And I know, tons and tons of people who have also been here together, who've grown up right alongside me and have loved this community in this town. And many of my colleagues are exactly the same. They love this place and they love these people. And it's just such a shame to watch, so much negativity and so much fear. So we've kind of made it our mission in the last handful of months, really since the beginning of COVID, to care a little more and to try and show people that we care a little bit more. Random acts of kindness. This month, we've decided to pair with Laughing Girl Flowers, who is my mother-in-law, actually Dino's mom. And she started this cut flower farm this year, and kind of a hobby project of hers, something she's always really wanted to do. And it has just taken off like crazy. People are loving what they're getting from her. And what better way to bring some love and light and brightness to people's day than to give them some flowers. So at Remax, that's what we're doing this month. We want to give away some flowers to some people, and we wanted to get out a little bit further than our own little clientele base for this giveaway. We want to spread it a little bit further. So we want to do a giveaway to anybody who's watching now. So do you want me just to go through the details of what we're doing?
Go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
So, well,
Blast
I've got this little guy here. We are giving away 15 of these. And you can see they're Laughing Girl Flowers. These are her small bouquets. And we've got a whole bunch sitting at our office right now. So the first 15 people to go to the Remax Real Estate Team Facebook page and find the photo of the flowers that says comment here to win. Yeah, there it is. Find that photo and comment with the phrase Dream Team. The first 15 people to comment with the phrase Dream Team will win flowers, which they can arrange to pick up either today or tomorrow from our office here in town.
Well, how cool is that? Now, tell me now. So then, I know your mother-in-law. They live out in Cove.
Mm-hmm.
So does she grow the flowers herself out there?
She does. I should have sent you a picture of her flowers. She's got I think probably a quarter acre, half an acre of just flowers. Wow. And they are beautiful. She has, I think pretty soon she had a senior in high school, take some photos out there for her senior pictures, and they are so beautiful. It's flowers on flowers on flowers, and their farm is sitting right on the downhill side of the Cove Highway as you're coming into town there. And so in the evening, there's just beautiful sunset views, and it is so picturesque and pretty. But yeah, it is a labor of love, and she is a one-man show right now, working her hiney off to get these flowers as beautiful as they are, and they are wonderful.
Well, and I think that just makes it even more unique that it's local, it's a local product, they're locally grown, I mean, how cool is that? That's just, I think that's just a really cool thing.
Yeah, I think so too. She has a subscription service that has kind of been blowing up, and I don't know that she's got a whole lot more subscription service options available right now because she's got so many people who've taken advantage. But check her out, Laughing Girl Farm.
Wow. Well, and the growing season is over soon, right?
I defer on that answer because I'm sure she can keep stuff going for a while, but
right. But but she's always got something going. Yeah. I know Marcy, and she's just like, she's got a plan. So
right.
Yeah. Well, cool.
So let me speak real fast about. So one of the cool things about like these downtown businesses, Remax, and Amanda is like, and I'm not gonna like toot our horn, but I'm gonna toot everybody that's involved's horn. Is we're all doing something for the community, regardless. Like the way I didn't know Amanda very well, and I saw a post on Facebook about supporting the Angel Fund, right, and doing the relay, which is something near and dear to my heart, and it's like that's what we do. Like it's just I wish everybody would do that.
Right. I know. Well, I do. It's easy to say, oh, they've got it so good there, or, oh, I wish it were this way, but it's a case of water your own lawn. And I've been feeling that here locally more than ever, but I've been really impressed. We've got so many wonderful hearts here locally who are doing that, who are not out whining and griping and, refusing to support local businesses because they feel differently on a certain topic, or, I see so much good, and I really want to lean into that because, gosh, what a shame to not.
Right. 100%.
Well, and people, Remax relocated downtown not too long ago. Maybe it's been 3 or 4 years ago. It's been.
I think this is our second year. June this year was our second year.
Yeah, and I just want to give that's an admirable thing. Partially, certainly there's some advantage to businesses to being downtown, but there are lots of cases where it's easier to have a business not downtown. You take parking for one. Okay. Yeah. And it's so funny because I'm the president of Main Street. I hear people complain all the time about parking downtown. And the reality is that if you can't park directly in front of the business that you want to park in front of, then you think there's a problem downtown with parking. And there's not really. Just go to Portland or go to some place where, go to some place where you have to walk 2 or 3 blocks to get to the business. And then you understand, our whole downtown is 2 or 3 blocks, so it's just not a problem. But the point being is that is, that is a disadvantage for businesses downtown, for something like a real estate agency or whatever the case might be, an insurance agency. Yes, there's some advantage to being downtown, but it's also an effort. I mean, it's harder. The signage is smaller. The branding is more complicated, And so, I mean, I appreciate businesses that make efforts to be downtown, because it increases the livelihood and the energy of the entire downtown, and our entire commerce area is affected by the energy of our downtown area. That's just the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. We love our little spot. We took that building that was sitting empty. I mean, there was nothing in there. It was just copier storage for a long time. And that building was so pretty. If you haven't seen it, come peek in our windows. It's real pretty in there now. Same with the old Tap That where they used to be. Now it's Finance of America Mortgage in there, Corey Klebaum. And she's done the same thing. It's super pretty in there now, which is cool because our downtown looks beautiful. I mean, we're doing good things downtown, making it prettier, and I love that. Not only that, but it's so cool just to see folks walking by the window, pop your head out and say hey and visit for a little while.
Well, and very recently I had some friends who used to live here who came back, and he operated a business in downtown. And one of the first things he said was, hey, the downtown looks great, And so we don't really think about that. We're here all the time and we look at the problems or whatever the case might be, but we don't understand that, hey, overall, our downtown looks pretty good. It's attractive, it's quaint, it's nice. So there's a lot of things that are good.
You should show those flowers one more time.
I will. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what all these are. I'm not the green thumb in the family. That is definitely my husband and his mom. But again, comment on the photo with the flowers. It says comment here to win. Make sure to comment the phrase Dream Team on the RE/MAX Real Estate Team Facebook page.
All righty.
RE/MAX Real Estate Team.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Amanda, for joining us.
Thanks for having me and for helping me do this wonderful giveaway. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Always good to see you.
Have a good day today.
Bye.
All right. All right, man.
Okay. Jill, thank you. I love your family. You know that already. I appreciate you guys 100%. And Julie, thank you too.
Yep.
Let's go through. Jeez, you just jumped that right over me?
Yeah.
BC? Wow.
I did. Kelsey says she loves you, Mandy. And so does Arlie. Your fans showed up today.
That's good. Okay, so are we going to go straight into the final?
Yeah, I think.
Ready?
I don't have any
on
more
this day,
jabbing to do you?
1891. On this day, Thomas Edison patented the motion picture camera.
1891.
Yeah, that's a long time. That was like what, about 10 years before you were born, BC?
Can you read my mind? I'm saying something to you right now.
Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. On this day in 1960, the coldest temperature ever recorded was in Vostok, Antarctica, minus 127 degrees. Could you imagine that? That's cold. On this day in 1989, Pete Rose was suspended from baseball for life for gambling. On this day in 2015, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that for the first time, 1 billion people had logged on to Facebook 6 years ago on this day. Wow. And let me get to the branding real fast and let me give my little spiel real quick. The most importantly on this day is on this day in 2008, this little turd right here was born. My youngest daughter, Pacey Lynn Elizabeth Dodds, Corvallis, Oregon. These are all pictures, older pictures, but then I have one picture of her recently that I wanted to show. She probably wouldn't like if I like showed a recent picture of her because she's a girl, but she's my baby. She's my youngest, and she just has a special place in my heart, like the rest of them. I have 3 kids for people that didn't know that. Yeah, Pacey Lynn, happy birthday. I love you. And
happy birthday.
And then the #1 song in 1991 on this day. Don't sing it, BC.
Everything.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's a yeah. That's about it for today.
All righty. Hey, thanks you all for tuning in today.
We appreciate you.
Yep, we'll be right back here on Thursday. We'll talk to you soon.